My name is Jamez. Welcome to the Mindset Circle, where we learn, where we grow, where we become successful together through superior ideology. That is the Mindset Circle for you. Is a community of people that learn, a community of people that grow, and become successful together. So invite your friends and family to join this community as we learn things that will make us to become successful ideologically. Now, my name is Israel James, the mindset guy. Yes, you can call me that, the mindset guy, because this is the mindset circle community, and we want to raise people with superior and bigger mindsets. Do you understand me? So, in the next 30 minutes, we are going to be talking about the trap of perfection. That is what we are going to be talking about in the next 30 minutes, and how it is holding us back. You know, perfection, the trap of perfection, how it is holding us back. You see, perfection is a trap, and we need to call it and spell it for what it is. So that is what we are going to be doing in this live section. Also, last week, we talked about how success begins. We talked about how success begins. It was very interesting. It was very amazing to, put out the idea of how success actually begins in the life of humans, in the life of people. And also, that last week live stream, that was what bettered today's topic, today's discussion, because when we are talking about how success begins, it's quite related to this conversation on not being trapped by perfection. Are we here? So that is what we are going to be talking today. So without wasting so much time, do you think perfection is a trap? Do you actually think that perfection is a trap? And also, has anyone ever told you that perfection is a trap? Have anyone ever told you that before? Have you ever heard it before? That you should stop trying to be perfect because it's actually a trap. Now, also, why do we need to learn about this topic? Why do we need to learn about the trap of perfection? Perfection is a trap, and how it is holding you back, especially for startups and for people that want to, start doing something meaningful and responsible with their life. Why do we need to actually even, learn about perfection and how it is a trap to us? So these are the things that we are going to be discussing in this live stream. So call your friends and your family. Is about to go down right now. Just be wise, just be wise, just be wise. Okay. Now, let us talk about the idea of perfection. Remember what we said, this live stream is for about 30 minutes, and we are not going beyond that. Let's get into the idea of perfection. The idea of perfection. You know, First of all, before we talk about the idea of perfection, let us talk about what does perfection means actually. What do you think that perfection means? People try to be perfect here and there. People, try to, do things in a perfect way, in a way that will be very, very, very good. So, but what do you think is perfection? Now, first of all, perfection is the state of being complete. That is what perfection is. Perfection is the state of being complete. It is also the state of being flawless, without fault, without mistake, and without error. That is what perfection is, the state of being complete, flawless, without fault, without mistake, and without error. That means it is the best of all times. It cannot be improved on. There is nothing you can add to it, there is nothing you can subtract to it. It is just the standard. And that is most people's ideas of perfection. Now, how do we relate this to real life experiences? Perfection. How do we relate this to real life experiences? Most times we don't want people to see us in an imperfect state. We don't want people to see us, in a way that we don't want. There is a standard way that you want people to see you. You want people to perceive you. That is it. There is a way that we want people to see us. For example, any day, anytime, you don't want your friends to see you rough, dressed rough. You don't want them to see you, looking dirty, looking, unpackaged. You want them to see you on your best day, on the day you are, you are clean, on the day that you are, very beautiful, very handsomely dressed, on the day you have your hair cut, on the day everything about you is fixed and balanced. That is the day that we want, everybody to actually see us. So, but for people to actually see us on a day where we are not fixed up, on a day where we are, not dressed up, it is quite crazy to us. For example, me, I remember one day where I was, trying to brush my teeth outside, and a lady that, as a young man, a lady that used to come around in the business place, and she just saw me. I was shirtless, and I don't like people seeing me shirtless. She saw me shirtless, just brushing my teeth, my boxers, everything is showing off in my house. Somebody brought her to my house for some, business transactions. I say, what? I nearly ran away. I nearly ran away, but I just have to maintain myself because, you know, uh, let it not be as if you are behaving childish. Just remain there, and she just came and saw my chest, saw my body, and I hate that. Saw me brushing outside, saw me. Oh my god! We want everybody to see us when we are sharp. We want everybody to see us when we are in our best days. We want everybody to see us when we are, looking good, not when we are looking bad. Because everything that people see can paint a perception in their minds. It will paint a picture. We know ourselves that when my classmates or my colleagues or my workmates and or my whatever, family, friends, well wishers, when they see me in a way, they will put it in their mind. So you see, the idea of perfection we have has, want us to, don't show the idea of perfection we have about ourselves does not permit us to, show ourselves in a particular way. It only wants us to show ourselves in a perfect way, in a clean way, in a normal way, in a standard way. And that is how it has affected, most people in the society. Everyone is a victim of the idea of perfection. Everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to, appear right. Everybody wants to, be sharp in what they are doing. Everybody wants to, look as though they are meeting up the standard. But nobody, wants to look bad in front of everybody, including your crushes, in front of everybody, including the people that you are, just be wise. So that is that. But let us get into this idea real quick. People have an idea of being perfect before they do anything. Now, the major point in this conversation is when it comes to releasing yourself, when it comes to putting out yourself out there, uh, performing based on your gift, based on your abilities, based on your talent, and every other thing, you need you need to start. You need to start because based on the idea of perfection, perfection is the idea that wants you to have everything figured out, wants you to know everything first, wants you to have all the money first, wants you to have the best of the best before you start what you want to do. Actually, that is the idea of perfection. It does not want you to start small. It does not want you to start where you are. It does not want you to start at your level. It wants you to start at the standard and the bigger level so that people will not say that you are doing bad. People will say you are doing well. That is what the idea of perfection is trying to conform us to. Why that is good and not bad there's still limitations because it's not everybody that had the advantage. It's not everybody that have the ability to start at that highest standard. It's not everybody that can do those things that those people at the top are doing in your field or in your career. So what you need to do is to start with what you have. If you're a person that is into business, you are into or singing, you are into dancing, you are into filming, you are into whatever work you are doing, that you are offering value services or showcasing your abilities, you need to start from where you are, even though where you are is not what you want, even though you have an idea or a bigger idea, you need to start. Because just like what we talked about in our last stream, success will not find you in the beginning. Success will find you in the process, towards the end. Sometimes people don't become successful in the day one. No, people don't become successful the first day. Most people want their first move to be their biggest move ever. Most people want their first launch to be the best. See, you need to remember that there is something called process and growth. Two important components, process and growth. You need to remember that there is something called process and growth, that you must know that there is a beginning point of everything, and also there is an end point of everything. The way a thing begins is not necessarily the way it is going to end. So for you that have a mindset of perfection, an idea of perfection, you may not likely appreciate process and growth because you just want to do everything now. But it is a beautiful thing when we see the picture of you 5 years ago and see the picture of you now and see a great difference. That is the beauty of process. That is the beauty of growth. That the way I was 5 years ago, my, facially, in my body, in my finances, in my businesses, in academics, in my giftings, the way I was in the past is not the way I am currently now. It is a beautiful thing, and that can only happen with time. That can only happen in process. That cannot happen in one day. If you do the best you can today, that means after today you just need to shut down because you have done all you can do in life. But we still have 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, 100 years to live. We still have 100 years to work and do the things that we are doing. So you don't necessarily need to allow your small beginnings and your small days to bully you, to cheat you, to see that nothing will actually work in the future. See, your beginning and your future and your tomorrow will not be the same. As long as you keep improving, as long as you keep becoming competent, as long as keep becoming excellent, as long as you keep pushing, keep striving, keep moving on, your beginning and your ending will never be the same. So everybody wants to be the best. And to do the best, it is good, but you need to learn how to start from where you are. And that is the major point of this conversation. Most people are trapped because they want to figure out everything now. Most people are trapped because they want to know everything now before they start whatever they want to do. They want to have all the knowledge, all the information. They want to have all the connections right now. They want to have all the money right now. They want to have all the strategies, all the ideas, all the partnerships, everything it takes to be big. They want it now. Meanwhile, you are just starting. You are just in your day one. You are just in your first step. How do you expect everything to just turn out like that? That is why most people cannot even start a business, because there is an amount of capital they want. Well, depending on the business you're going for. But there is always a way to start, even though you started limited, even though you started small. What I will always tell everyone that wants to start something out there is to start small, but don't end small. Don't continue small. There is no problem in starting small. There is no problem in doing these small stuffs. But there is a problem if you're going to end small. That is where there is a problem. There is a problem that you have been small for a long time in what you are doing. That means there is no growth, there is no improvement, there is no development, and that is bad. That is bad. So perfection is an idea. Is an idea. Perfection does not really even exist. It's an idea that is stuck in our minds based on popular standards. Just be wise about these things. Perfection is an idea that is stuck in our mind based on popular standards. Okay, we have seen the people that are doing well in this industry. Okay, so you feel that before you can be able to do what they are doing, you must have all they have. You must have all their equipment, you must have all their tools, you must have all their connections, you must be on their level before you can do something. No, you'll be trapped. Most people cannot start small. They cannot just swallow their pride and start small. They cannot just, uh, believe in their dreams, in their abilities, and start with step one. Before you take the 100th step, you must first of all take step one. Step one is one. Only, in fact, step one may mean that it is only you that is in the business, only you that is doing the stuff, only you that is starting it, that is only you that is there, that is doing your videos. It is only you that is doing your music, your film, and that is doing all your creative stuff. Only you that is doing your business. That may be what step one means. That you are all alone. That there is no help. That there is no that there is no sponsorship. That there are no deals, no brand endorsements. That there are no help. It may be only you. That is what step one may actually mean. But one day, if you continue pushing and pressing, you arrive at step 50 where there are many people all around you, maybe 50 people helping you to do your work, helping you to do your business, helping you to, push your work to a global level. You see that? So everything must always start from zero or from step one. You cannot start from step 100. You don't even do that when you want to climb up a stairs. You don't do that. You must start from the floor. Last week we gave an example of a child. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Last week we gave an example of a newborn baby. How that a newborn baby, everything in the life of that baby is not working. The baby is not talking. The baby is not working. The baby is not moving. The baby cannot even feed himself. The baby does not even know how to sense and articulate and identify everything in his environment. We gave that powerful example. So the baby needed to endure a season that we call a season of insignificance. That is a season that everybody that must start must endure in his craft. A season where you are not a big deal. A season where nobody cares. A season where nobody, really want to pay attention to you. Everybody must endure that season of significance for you to get to the season of usefulness. Those are the two major and powerful seasons in the life of anything, be it business, be it products. The first time if you produce a new product that nobody knows about, nobody really cares about your product. That product must endure a season of insignificance. That service that you just produced must endure a season. It all depends on your pushing and your pressing to push your work to a higher level. That is what is going to determine whether it is going to go to the season of usefulness, whether it's going to land on the season of usefulness. So if you think that you need to have everything you need in order to start your life, in order to start out your career, your business, and whatever you are doing, then you must be joking, because that idea of perfection of yours that you have is your trap. That idea that you need to have everything is your trap. You go and ask every celebrity, you go and ask everybody that is doing great things at the top right now. Most of them, they never started with anything reasonable. They never started as you are seeing them right now. But you see, their present condition can deceive us to think that this is how they has always been. Meanwhile, there is a starting point. There is a point when they started and nobody cared. When they started and they were looking for how to, penetrate the industry, how to, make their voices heard, make their product, their services, and everything that they do to be significant in front of people. There are times like that. And even me, I'm in such a season of insignificant where the things that I am doing actually right now, it may not be loud, it may not be reasonable. Nobody may want to pay attention, even in this second live stream that we are doing today. Nobody may want to pay attention. We may not have all the gadgets and all the devices and everything that we need, or everything that we need to, do our work. We may, have some limitations here and there, but we start anyway. We start anyway. We don't wait till we have it all figured out. We don't wait till we know it all. Look at our school institutions. You needed to start from level one in college. You needed to start from level one to learn the basics of whatever course you are going for in school. You needed to start from level one where you don't even know anything. And they start training you, start teaching you, doing some practicals until you get to your final level when you are now fully empowered with all the knowledge to become a doctor, a lawyer, to become whatever it is, to become an engineer, to become, a civil engineer, a marine engineer, to become, a political science, a mass com student. So you needed to start. So if you don't need to allow perfection to bully you, you don't need to allow perfection to cheat you because perfection does not exist. See, we can never be perfect. Human beings, this world is an imperfect world. You can never be perfect. Just deal with it. If nobody has ever told you up till now, let me be the first person to tell you this. You can never be perfect. No matter how you try, you will never be perfect. In fact, you will fail 1,000 times trying to be perfect. You know your struggles sometimes, you know your weaknesses as a human being, you know your limitations, you know the areas of your vulnerabilities, how you try to, amend your ways, in some part of your lives, and you struggle, and you still find yourself fall again upon how strong you are, upon how wise you are, upon how intellectual you are, upon how wise you think you are, how in charge you think you are. You still fell into your weaknesses. You still fell into your vulnerabilities. You still fell into those things that you say, I will never do this again. I will never make this mistake again. Look at people in relationship making a lot of mistake. They still fail upon all the promises they make to themselves. Look at people, in their personal life, even in their faith work, in their relationship with God, they still fail, and default. They still fall and make mistakes because this earth is a place of imperfection. We can never be perfect. We can never be perfect. In fact, anything that you think that it is perfect right now, it is only perfect because of how long it has been worked on. It is only good in your sight because of how long it has been worked on. You see, if you are to wait till when you become perfect, you will never, you may never arrive at a place of power. You may never arrive at a place of excellence. Now, let us take an example in the iPhone industry, in the iPhone company. Imagine that the iPhone and the Apple brand, sorry, imagine that the Apple brand waited until they were the best until iPhone 17 that we have right now in 2025. That means we could have not have iPhone 5, iPhone 6, 7. 8, X, XR, iPhone 11, iPhone 12, 13, 14, and the rest of them. Every now and again, the production industries, they upgrade, they improve. Even our phones, the softwares, they always upgrade and improve. What does that tell you? It tells you that we have never gotten to the highest level. There must always be improvement, because the earth is not a perfect place. The earth is not a place of perfection. The earth is a place of improvement. The earth is a place of growth. The day the earth will come to the place of perfection, that is the day the world is going to end. Believe me when I tell you this. The day every human being is going to come to the point of perfection, that is the day the world is going to end, because there is no room to do any other thing. What makes the earth interesting, and what makes process and growth interesting, is that we always have something to improve. If you see the cars of 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right now in 2025, they are very ugly. They are not desirable. And that is how the cars of today that we celebrate, the Benz, the Bentleys, the Rolls Royce, in the future, it may not make sense. In the next 50 years, in the next 30 years, in the next 20 years, the things that we celebrate right now will not have value. So every now and again, the earth keeps shifting, things keep upgrading, things keep improving, to show you that the earth is a place of improvement, not a place of perfection. So if you allow perfection to cheat you, to wait before you have everything that you want, you'll be cheated. Start the way you are, but be improving. Give us the current version of yourself. Give us the next version of yourself. Give us the current version and what you are working on, the current project. This is what every industry and every organization that is serious is doing. They are always critical about growth. There is always more. There is always more. If you have a mindset of perfection, that's mean you don't have a mindset of more. You don't have a mindset of growth. You don't have the mindset of next level. As long as there is a next level, that's mean we are not perfect. What we are actually doing right now is not perfect. Anybody at any point in time, what they are doing at that point may be the best for the moment, but it is not entirely perfect. Because the people of the future, when they turn back to see what the people of the past did, they will just say, nah, these guys, they tried, but it is not much. Just like when we read history and see that there was a time in history where their means of communication was through letter. Can you imagine that? Through writing a letter? That is quite slow. That is quite slow and inefficient. Another means of communication that upgraded when the telephone later came. Imagine that you need to just go to a particular place to make call, to take that heavy thing and put it in your ear, and you die around and around. A lot of things has happened in history, and currently right now we are still in a very ceaseless era of improvement, an era of AI, where people keep improving their algorithms with AI, improving apps with AI, bringing all manner of AI intelligence, AGI, and the rest of them. So the earth is a place of improvement, not a place of perfection. So if you allow yourself to remain there, then uh, you are being trapped. So this is my call to you in this section. Start the way you are, but don't remain the way you are. Keep improving, keep adding excellence upon excellence, competence upon competence, advancement upon advancement. That is the game of life. You don't wait till when you are going to figure it out. You don't wait till when you have it all. Start the way you are, and don't allow perfection to trap you in one place. Don't allow perfection to make you waste time. You are wasting time. The world is moving very fast. You are wasting time in your gifts. You are wasting time in your abilities. You are wasting time in procrastination. You need to start moving. Look at me, for example. I may not have the best tools for streaming live, but you know what? We need to start and put out our ideas there. We need to save this thing here for the future, because in the future, the me you see today is not the me you're going to see. I will change in age, in looks, in finances, in development, in communication, in wisdom, in every area of my life. there must be advancement, there must be an improvement, there must be growth. We don't allow ourselves to remain the same way. Next year will be different. There will be upgrades. It may not be like this. There will be increase. We'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing to become better than we used to be. The most terrible thing for anybody is for your yesterday to be finer than your tomorrow or your today. Your today supposed to be better than your yesterday. Your future supposed to be better and bigger and finer than your yesterday. So start now and save it. Let it be on a record that this is how you started. You started rough, you started imperfect, but in the future, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, if you continue improving, if you continue being better, connecting, and bringing a mind-blowing game in your craft, then when you turn back and look at yourself, you say, wow, thank God that I started. Thank God that I listened to this mindset guy called Israel James to start my work and my craft, even though when we didn't have everything, even though when we are suffering from lack and deficiency, we started. We are not trapped by the idea of having it all, by the idea of knowing it all, by the idea of having the best people in your teams, having the best people in the world in what you are doing. Start with not being the first believer in your gift, in your abilities, and in yourself. So you don't allow perfection to bully you. Do you understand me? So things are only perfect for a season, not forever. Even the thing that you think that it is perfect is only perfect for a season, not forever. Just like the examples I've given you, the things that we say is perfect right now. If you look at iPhone 5 or iPhone 6, nobody wants to near that stuff. If you look at the Mercedes Benz of 2000s, the early 2000s, nobody wants to near that. Meanwhile, as of the time it came out, it was big, it was the best, it was nice. So even the things that you are seeing right now and saying that if I don't get to this level, I cannot do anything, in the future it will be very ugly. The things that we value now, in the future it will become rags, just like buying a new clothes that you love today. Give that clothes 5 years, it is going to turn to rags. It's in fact you that paid a lot for the clothes, whether be it a designer clothes, you are going to be the same person that is going to throw it away in the next 5 years, if it will survive that long, in the next 2 years and 3 years. So we are not in the earth of perfection, we are in the earth of improvement, the era of improvement. So don't allow yourself to be trapped. So how do you become untrapped? By this idea. First of all, agree that you are not the best. Agree that you have something, but also agree that you are going to improve on the journey, not waiting for one day that you're going to improve. Agree that you don't have it all now. You don't know it all now. You're not perfect all now. You're making mistakes all now. You're an amateur right now. But start and keep moving and make sure that you're advancing. Make sure you're improving. That is how you get unstuck from perfection. Because as wonderful as wanting to make a big move the first time you want to do something is, as wonderful as that is, it can be the reason why you never do anything in your lifetime. If you wait for perfection for 30 years, you're waiting for 30 years before you have everything that you want, you may never, do a lot. Imagine somebody waiting for like 50 years to when he finally has money before he do some certain things in his life, before he has some certain experiences. See, anything you want to do, no matter how big it is, there is always a smaller version to start with. There is always a lower version to start with. Start from there. Swallow your pride. Be humble. Humble yourself and start from the level you can. But I will always tell you this. Make sure you don't remain at that level. Make sure you rise far higher and higher and higher. Do you understand? Make sure that if you started from one location, in the next 5 years, your business is all over. You have conquered the state. You have conquered the environment in the next 10 years. That if you started with one subscriber, one follower, and in the next 5 years, you are going to so improve that everybody will love to follow you. Everybody will love to subscribe to you. Everybody will love to hear from you. And that is the key. Improvement. They adopt the mindset of improvement to start and improve, not the mindset of perfection that everything and everybody must be right before we make a move. If you do that, you only have a little time of performance on earth. If you do that, you only have a little time of work, because you will be waiting and waiting till you figure everything out before you make a move. So make that move today and thank me later for this in the future. You may not know the value of what you are getting right now. It is in the future that you turn back and see this video and say, wow, so this is what this guy was saying then. It makes so much sense now. So I'm saving this video here for my community that are yet to come. Today also we are 36 minutes. We say we'll reduce the video to 30 minutes. And we are in 36 minutes, and yet we don't have any subscribers yet today. The second day of streaming on YouTube. And we are talking about avoiding the trap of perfection, that perfection is a trap. And today, nobody has yet, turned up to listen to our wisdom, but it's all right. We will continue until one day the world will gather to listen to the mindset guy on Mindset Matters. Thank you very much for today's conversation on the Mindset Circle community. It's a community where we learn, where we grow, and where we become successful together through a superior mindset. Mindset is everything. It is what you think, that is what you manifest. It is what you know, that is what you will do. If you don't know anything, you can't do anything. If you know a lot, you can do a lot. If your head is empty, your life will be empty. If your head is full, then your life will be full. Thank you very much for watching this video. And also don't forget to thank me later for bringing you this amazing wisdom. And like the video, subscribe to our channels for more. Join the community and engage with fellow community members on this platform. My name still remains Israel James. Thank you very much.